far of the minds behind Westwood Studios' 1995 release Command Conquer sat down at DD 2019 to share an hour-long deep dive into the creation of the influential real-time strategy game. In that talk, Westwood Studios co-founder Louis Castle, along with the game's lead designer Eric Leo, composer Frank Klipotsky, and VP of Product Development, Steve Witherwang, through the early days of the studio and how the landmark strategy game came together. It's a conversation that runs through the conception, development, and design of Command Conquer, all while offering insights and anecdotes that may be helpful to fellow game developers. In addition to this presentation, THEGDC Vault and its accompanying YouTube channel offers numerous other free videos, audio recordings, and slides from many of the recent game developers conference events. And the service offers even more members-only content for DD Vault subscribers. Those who purchased all-access passes to recent events, like DD Vault, already have full access to DD Vault, and interested parties can apply for the individual subscription via the DD Vault subscription page. Group subscriptions are also available. Game-related schools and development studios who sign up for DD Vault Studio subscriptions can receive access for their entire office accompanied by contacting staff via THEGDC Vault group subscription page. Finally, current subscribers with access issues can contact DD Vault technical support. The 2019 Game Developers Conference will feature an exhibition titled GDCDEDICATEDTOGAMES that uses alternative control schemes and interactions. Gamasutra will be talking to the developers of each of the games that have been selected for the showcase. Guitar Wizards draws a pair of players into a battle of sound and light, having them play dueling guitars to launch magical beams at their opponent. Meanwhile, you have to launch riffs at your foe to stop their magical licks from taking you down. Gamasutra sat down with the developers of Guitar Wizards to talk about how they turned a guitar battle into a crowd-pleasing throwdown between mages, how they helped those with little musical experience still create pretty songs, and how a natural cooperation still came of their competitive music game. With our band mechanics, game design, programming and hardware, and the kitchen, game design, production. We also worked with our super talented friends, Jason Sutherland, audio, design, and Luke Loder's art. For the last 3 or so years, we have largely been making games in our spare time, participating in as many jams as we can manage. As our interest in and passion for game design grew, we decided to shift our careers towards making games full-time. McInnes now works as a creative technologist at a company specializing in interactive installations, and Kitchen works as a producer at an independent game development studio called Freelance. Our teammates Sutherland and others work with the Kitchen at Freelance. Guitar Wizards was built using WS-281 to be RGB labs, the Fuzzold library, a TNC and the Arduino aligned. The full installation includes wooden and acrylic panels that sandwich the lens and enhance the sparkly effects. For maximum magic, we also used modified Guitar Hero controllers, and we will be bringing custom-made wizard hands along to
GDC 2019
Guitar Wizards is a ribbon-based dueling game that takes place across a LED battleground. Players use modified Guitar Hero controllers to fire chords at one another, and in the process, create a magical spectacle of lights and sounds. By taking away the screen, Guitar Wizards brings players face to face in an epic battle, and allows for a crowd to form around them. The game can be played competitively, as players try to outmaneuver one another, or it can be played cooperatively, as players settle into a groove and find flow by putting a guitar in their hands and a wizard hat on their heads. Guitar Wizards aims to give players the freedom to perform and to share a moment of fun with their opponents and onlookers. Since we want as many people as possible to experience the magic of Guitar Wizards, we are working on making the game more accessible. We will be bringing an additional set of controllers to the DD exhibition that make it possible for the game to be played one-handed. About 5 years ago, we had a really exciting idea of fantasy-inspired dueling game where spells were fired using gesture recognition gloves. Sounds cool, right? But it was also wildly outside of the scope of our abilities as game designers and developers at the time. Fast forward to 2018, when McInnes happened to work on a LED project and discovered that our idea could be brought to life in a different way. He figured that the LED strips resembled the lanes in Guitar Hero, so we started exploring the possibility of using existing controllers in a new context. That also sparked our interest in adding a musical element to the game. We both find the idea of casting a spell of conjuring some effect in the world really exciting, and we wanted to try to capture that with the Guitar Wizards. The 2-meter-long ladder creates distance between players so that they can see their musical spells travel through space towards their opponent. To highlight the feeling of making magic, we added meteoric light trails to the notes, as well as sparkling effects for when they collide. An important design consideration was also that we wanted the player to feel like the Dark's Rockstar Wizard, which is at the same time the coolest and silliest thing to be, and that's what we will like about Guitar Wizards. It lets you step into that role, and then just lets you have some fun with it irrespective of your skill as a player or musician, a wizard for that matter. The incredible poster art that Luke made, which is part metal album cover and part Terry Pratchett book cover, leans into this idea very nicely. Some of the best experiences we have had at games parties or exhibitions have been around games that are intriguing not only to their players, but also to the crowd around them. We love games like Johann Sebastian Faust, Die Gute Fabrik, 2013, and the shared experience it creates between players and onlookers while they are being played and watched. Those games create little communities around them. We did a few things to try to create the same kind of experience with the Guitar Wizards. First, because the ladder in it is 2 meters long, onlookers can easily fill up the space between players. We try to ensure that the game is set up on a low display tableau so that everyone can see what's happening in the arena. Each player also has a distinct color, making it easy to follow the action. We deliberately kept the rules of Guitar Wizards simply so that it is easy to keep track of no matter when you start watching the duel. These considerations allow onlookers to understand the game's state at a glance and to join in on the performance. For us, the joy of alternative or unique controls is really in their ability to bring people together, whether it's Guitar Wizards or one of the other incredible entries into this year's
GDC 2019.
Alternative controllers invite people to share a physical space and a moment of silliness, a confusion or mastery. We think that's really special, and something worth celebrating. Guitar Wizards was built as a competitive game, but during playtesting we found that some players were more interested in a cooperative experience, where they could follow into a rhythm with one another. Even within the competitive framework we created, players were finding ways to work together and we're using a call and response play style. Since this is a really exciting outcome, we are exploring demos that support collaborative play further. We like the idea of a low-pressure environment, where people with different levels of skill, or even interest, in music, can feel like a rock star. Maybe that comes from a selfish desire, since neither of us particularly good musicians. Sutherland did an amazing job of making sure that the notes that are played are not discordant.